Adebola. Thank you for joining me today for a discussion about your career in recognition of International Women's Day. Today we'll be talking about your experiences throughout your career, the highs, the lows, the challenges, and what it means to be a woman in banking. So to start off, could I ask a little bit about your job title and what you do in your role?
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for having me today. It's my pleasure to share my career journey with you and with others that will be watching. So currently, I'm the head of global custody at Ecobank Nominees Limited. And Ecobank Nominees is one of the affiliates of Ecobank Transnational Incorporated. I'm also the managing director of the company. Um, what we do is just to hold safekeep assets for our customers. So financial assets like treasury bills, bonds, euro bonds, derivatives, whatever it is, financial assets that our clients want to hold. We hold that in safekeeping for them. We settle their trades. We send the reports. We do the portfolio valuation and every other asset administration services that our clients would like. So that's what I currently do.
How long have you been in your role and how did you get into it in the first place?
Okay, so I've been working in total for 15 years, but I've done custody exactly for about 9 years now. And I I would say I chose custody because I didn't have an idea what it was about. So I had done banking, customer service. I started with customer service. Then I moved to assets and liabilities management in treasury. Then in 2010, I decided to go for my master's in the UK. So after I finished my master's, I worked briefly with NatWest Bank and Citibank, and then came back to Nigeria in 2014. It was when I came back to Nigeria, I joined a bank, their management program. And while we're doing the management program rotations across different departments, I got into custody and I was like, okay, what is this? I've not heard of this before. I've been in banking for like 5 years now. I don't know what custody is. And that curiosity made me choose custody. So we had the option of choosing our first and second choice. So I chose custody as my first. And I was like, if I don't like it, I'll probably just move into something else. But I
Yeah.
tell you this, that custody has been my best so far. It's been a wonderful experience. I've done it for 9 years now, and I'm loving it. And it has given me the kind of exposure that I never had across all the other areas that I've worked. So that's how I got into custody specifically, and that's been my career journey so far.
What would you say you do on like a day-to-day basis? Obviously, it's from someone that's just going into it. I always just hear the names of different like jobs, and I'm not sure actually what you would do on a daily basis. So it'd be good to hear.
Okay, so currently my level now, what I do currently is people management more. But I would tell you that when I first started, it was more technical, so you have to do the settlement of trades, you have to do the client relationship, onboarding customers, you settle their trades, you send them reports, you do the portfolio valuation, and then all the other bits in between operationally, custody operations. But at this level now, what I do more is manage my team and ensure that they are doing best execution for the clients. At this point, also, you want to ensure that you have people management skills. You're able to manage the customers, you're able to manage your shareholders, you're able to manage your team to ensure that everybody, is given the best service, and then everything runs efficiently. So that's currently what I do and how I've been managing, so far.
Yeah. And what would you say is probably your biggest challenges you've faced from the start, but also in your current job now?
Okay. Challenge, I think, has more to do with customers. One can see it as a challenge or not. So one of the things I've seen in my career journey is that a customer that you delight is always your best advocate. So you have the customer easy to please, not much demand, so you, even if there's an issue, you correct it, they're fine, nothing. But then you have the very difficult customers. And when you have such
Yeah.
customers, especially when you maybe actually do have an issue or the customer has an issue with you, the major challenge in that customer, the issue resolved first, and then getting that customer, winning the customer over and getting that customer to be your advocate. It's always very tough dealing with difficult customers. But I tell you that once you're able to get that customer on your side and the customer sees that you're the best at what you do, you really can resolve their issues, they would go any length to refer you. I have customers today that would just say, oh, they'll tell someone else, just call Adebola. Even though I have changed banks, I have customers that still follow me because of the service that you render. So one can see it as a challenge, or one can see it as, a way where what you do, you're able to do it best because you give your customers the best service. And I think it also deals with people management that I spoke about in the previous question, where the way you're able to handle your team, the way you're able to handle your customers, to make sure that everybody is happy and delighted at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'd definitely say it's important to have a team that work together. It can really impact the outcome of your
Yes.
work that you're doing. Yeah.
Yes.
What would you say are some of the highs of your job as well, just in contrast to the last question?
I think I have about two, but the first one is the fact that I've been a pioneer for custody in two banks. So aside from the bank where I started, I've moved on to another bank to start custody. I've moved on to another bank again to start it. So when you're sought after, it's a high for me, like people reach out to you and hunt you that they want you to come and do something based strictly on referrals. And then last year was a major high for me because I participated in the Young Banker of the Year competition with the Chartered Banker. Now, I stumbled into that as well. I started last year and came for something else that I wanted to do, something more challenging. And I was like, maybe I should go into sustainability, just thinking about what I wanted to do in my career going forward. And while I was on Google just searching for sustainability courses, I got to the Chartered Banker website and I saw the competition. Okay, I can do this. I can, come up with, and I did. And I got into the finals, Rebecca. It was so fulfilling for me,
Wow.
just standing on that stage, presenting
Yeah.
my idea to the banking industry globally. It's a different case if I was doing it locally, but standing on a stage in the UK talking about
Yeah.
my idea, it's the highlight of my career so far. So far. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. It's rewarding as well when you see hard work like that pay off. Really good.
Yes, it is. It is. And I think it's also a testament to the fact that you've done something for 15 years. I think it just gives you that validation that you actually know
Yeah.
what you're doing and you're impacting beyond just the job that I do. I also want to impact lives, even as a banker. So I think that for me was just the icing on the cake.
Good. Well done.
Thank you.
What would you say, obviously you spoke about your people skills earlier, what would you say would be some other skills that are important in the job that you do?
I think one of the major things that you need to have is integrity. So far in my career, I see that I would tell you that let your word always be your bond. If you say you're going to do something, even if you're not able to do it. So let's say, for instance, let me give an hypothetical situation. I tell the customer that I will be able to do something for them. I'll be back in 24 hours. But maybe I need to get information from the department and all that. I'm not able to meet that 24 hours. Before it's the end of 24 hours, I reach out to the customer to ask for more time. One of the things that you need to have
Yeah.
as a banker is that you need to have integrity. You need to be someone that is trustworthy so that your customers know that they can always rely on what you tell them. You don't want to fall short all the time, and then there's like, oh, she's come again with our fables, with our stories. So let your words always be your bond.
Yeah.
So excellent, or build a culture of excellence. You have to be excellent at what you do. I always tell my team that you need to have depth and you need to have width. And what do I mean by that? I'm doing custody now. The depth of all about custody, I need to know it. And then you need to also know other things. So beyond just custody, what is happening in corporate banking, what is happening in treasury, what is happening in other departments as well. So that when you approach a customer, you're able to tell them, oh, okay, you might not have a full idea of what everything is about, but you have an idea of everything. So you need to have depth in what you do. You need to be vast in what you do. You need to research. You need to be on top of your game and be excellent at it and deliver with excellence as well. Just build a culture of excellence around what you do. And I tell you, you can go anywhere from there.
Nice. What would you say, obviously you've done well up until now, what sorts of things would you like to achieve within the next few years or many years that you've got ahead of you?
Okay. Well, for now, I would say that one of the things I'm looking at is how there can be a fusion of financiers, so maybe in the banking industry or elsewhere, and the health sector. So another area I'm passionate about is the health sector. So I'll tell you a secret. I actually finished from medical school, but I did not, I never worked there at all. I never used my first degree, like we call it in Nigeria, for anything. Um, but it's always been my first love. And I just look at people, and I what I presented at the Young Banker of the Year competition. I just want to see people have access to healthcare, especially where I come from in Nigeria. And I hope that at some point I'll be able to do something to cause a collaboration between the banking sector and the health sector to promote healthcare, access to quality healthcare for the masses. That is something that is topmost on my mind.
Yeah, and it's two really important things. It would be good for them to come together in some way.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's also
Just
just about
expanding
giving
on that
back
a
to
little
the
bit.
society.
Yeah, definitely. To expand on that last question a little bit, what does the Inspire Inclusion theme mean to you on a more like personal level?
Um, for me, I think it's more about giving women opportunity and let the opportunity available to women, valuing their participation, valuing their input. So it's not just about we make space. Oh, okay. So because we want to inclusion, diversity, and all that, we just have a woman in to tick the box. No, man is coming with a lot of stuff to give. A woman
Mm.
is loaded, and beyond just ticking the box of making a space available for a woman, let their participation, their being there, let it be valuable. And that for me is how we can inspire inclusion. For me, I think women are the key to the society, the development of the society, the next level that we are looking at. I think more women need to come to the table, more women need to have a seat at the table. And then when they have that seat, what they say should actually matter. And they should be given the opportunity to um, to bring up their ideas, and their ideas are valued. So that is what it means to me. And this is personally and otherwise as well in in any area you choose to look at it.
Of course, yeah. Would you say that women obviously have more opportunities? I know you've not been working for years and years, but would you say from when you started until now, women have got like more opportunities?
I would say it has improved, but I think there is still more to be done. So I think there was
Yeah.
some research, I'm not sure, I don't want to quote any statistics, but coming into the banking industry, you see that there's a fair share of equal number of men and women that come into the banking industry at the entry level. But as we go higher in the career ladder, more women tend to drop off. So in middle management, and probably also because that is when most women are also, given birth and other life matters come into play. And then when we now look at senior management, because a lot of women have dropped off, there's less women at the top management level. So I think more needs to be done. More needs to be done in the area of giving women opportunity when they've gone out, maybe to have children or whatever it is, to integrate back into the system, and it has no effect on their career, or should I say, no significant effect on their career. So women have the same opportunities that men have as well, as they go higher
Yeah.
in the career. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that I would say as well that it has improved, but I agree with you definitely. There's definitely more that can be done to improve it even more.
Yes.
Just to finish off on quite a nice question, what would you say if you could give a young woman going into banking one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say be true to your values. Be true to who you are. As a woman, we have an innate nurturing ability. And as I've grown higher in leadership, I've gotten different advice from people. So, oh, you have to show up in a particular way, you have to be aggressive, and all that. But I'm not aggressive. I don't think I am. And because it's so opposite to who I am. And I think if I show up as my authentic self, I am able to perform better. So I would say embrace your authenticity, and be true to what your values are. I believe that the values of integrity, honesty, and excellence, I spoke about excellence before. Once you imbibe those values and you exhibit it, you would always go far. Everybody wants to work with someone that is of integrity. Everybody wants to work with someone that is kind, someone that is empathetic, So empathy, those are features that a woman would naturally have. So I would say be authentic, be true to your values, and the sky is the starting point for you.
Perfect. Well, thank you for speaking to me. It's been really
Thank you
interesting
for
listening
having
to
me.
your
And I wish you
experiences.
the best in your banking
Thank
career.
you.
I hope that when you look down many years down the line, you'll be like, yes, I made the right choice going into banking.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.